BEDMAS principles to start here. So you want to make sure that you start with brackets, then exponents, then division, then multiplication, then add, then subtract. So you want to make sure that you do everything inside the brackets first. So you'd have to add the 40 and the 10 together to start. So add 40 and 10 together, keep that on its own. And then on the bottom, do the multiplication first. So do 8 times 2 first, and then do 21 minus whatever 8 times 2 is. And then when you're done all of that, you want to divide. So in this case, add 40 and 10 to start, then multiply 8 and 2, do 21 minus the results of the multiplication of 8 and 2, then divide both numbers. So make sure to do that, that's key. And then simplification, you want to start with doing everything inside the brackets first, so the adding and subtracting, and so the multiply. So you'd have to start in this case, 7 squared is what you'd have to start with. So find what 7 squared is, and then do whatever 7 squared is, multiply that by 2, and then you would do 2 minus whatever you get there. And then for the other bracket, you would have to add and subtract everything inside of it first. And then whatever you get there, you just square it. And then at the end, you'd add it all together. And then for question 3, 6 squared minus 4 times 3 minus 1 divided by 4. You would want to start doing 3 minus 1. Get the number from that, then multiply it by the -4, and then add it to 6 squared, whatever 6 squared is. And then whatever you get there, you divide by 4. And then the number you get from that whole thing, you multiply by 8, and then you add that to 30, and then subtract 6. And then for the next one, you would do, you would start at the beginning, like at the bottom here. So you figure out what 166 divided by 365 is, multiply that by 0.2, then add 1, and then do 12 divided by what you got there. And then whatever you get from all that, you subtract by 0.95. And the next one, you simplify the following expression as much as possible. You do 10 minus the 10 over 2. So whatever 10 minus 10 over 2 is, you take 10 minus 10 over 2 plus 8. And then simplify the following expression as much as possible. 40 minus 10 over 2 plus 8. So you do 2 plus 8, whatever 2 plus 8 is 10. So 10 over 10 is 1, so 40 minus 1. Next one, you would have to do the 8 times 3, whatever that is, 10 divided by 2, whatever that is, and then you just put it all together. And the next one, you would do 40 minus 10 divided by 11 minus 8 times 2. So you do the 8 times 2 first, whatever that is, then 11 minus whatever 8 times 2 is, and then you divide both. And then the next one, you'd have to find common denominators. So you'd have to find a denominator common to both. So you can use the crisscross method where you do 5 times 9 on the bottom there. And then you would multiply each numerator by the other denominator. And then you'd solve. Next one, you would multiply the tops together and multiply the bottoms together and then simplify. This one, you would flip one of the fractions. So 4 divided by 5 divided by 7 over 9 is the same as 4 divided by 5 times 9 over 7. And then you just multiply the tops and then multiply the bottoms and simplify. And then here you'd find common denominators. You multiply the bottoms by, the bottoms would be 9 times 5 each bottom there. And then you multiply the tops by the opposite bottom there. And then here you'd multiply the top 4 by 3, and then you would combine both fractions because they're the same denominator, and you just subtract the tops. And then for the next one, you would have to add the 15 and 14 together, and then find common denominators for the fractions here. So you'd have to multiply, you'd have to find a common denominator for the fractions and then add the fractions together. And then for this one, you would have to add the 2 and 3 and 4 together, and then find common denominators for the fractions and add the fractions together. 16, you would add the 9 and 6 together. So you would do 9 minus 6, and then you would add the fractions together, but you'd find a common denominator for the fraction. For this one, convert percentage into both decimal and fractional forms. Decimal, you would just have to divide it by 100, 62 by 100. Fractional, you could divide it by 100 and then just simplify. And convert the percent in both decimal and fractional forms here. To do that, you would divide that by 100 and divide that by 100 to get the decimal, and then divide it by 100 and simplify to get the fraction. And convert this percent to both decimal and fractional forms. You would divide that to get you do 3 divided by 5 to get the decimal, and then you would do 3 divided by 5 and then try to simplify it to get the fraction. Convert the percent in both decimal and fractional forms. You divide the percent by 100 to get the decimal, and then for the fractional, you divide by 100 and then simplify. Then express the given quantity as percent. You would have to multiply by 100, and that would be the percent. And then express the given quantity as percent. 7 multiplied by 100, you get 700%. Express the given quantity as percent. You would have to do the 1 divided by 400, get a decimal, then multiply by 100. And then express the given quantity into percent. You would do 3 divided by 5 and then multiply by 100, and you get the percent. Express the given quantity as percent. You divide that by 100 and you get the decimal, then you multiply by 100. So that's how you do that there.